Hello, I'm Reverend Matthew Trick and I'm the vicar of Ringwood Benefice. We're a family of churches gathered around the market town of Ringwood. I wanted to respond to events that we've seen in the United States, which have troubled so many of us in our communities. Communities across the United States are hurting at present because of the death of George Floyd on the 25th of May at the hands of a police officer. In harrowing scenes that have now gone viral, police officer Derek Chauvin is seen kneeling his body weight on George Floyd's neck, resulting in his tragic death. My social media feed is full of friends posting images, pictures, and messages of solidarity with movements such as Black Lives Matter. I know that in my own community of Ringwood, George Floyd's death has stirred souls to speak out in disbelief at how institutional and overtly public racism remains in 2020. My heart, my prayers, and my deepest condolences go to the family of George Floyd in their loss. My prayers are with the people of the United States and elsewhere, courageously speaking out, challenging this awful injustice committed at the hands of someone whose very job it is to uphold justice itself. The irony is poignant and tragic. Racism in all its forms is abhorrent, but my own personal conviction is that we must recognise our own day-to-day apathy when we see racism occurring under our noses and heard in conversation. I'm speaking out about George Floyd's death because I want to give voice to the comments I've heard, and I want to challenge myself that if I'm to play a part in challenging prejudice, then I have to be aware, I have to recognise when it occurs, and I have to challenge it. Edmund Burke, the Dublin-born philosopher and Member of Parliament, famously said, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." One of the greatest fuels of the continuation of racism and other forms of discrimination is our apathy. But we must stop being apathetic and stand up and name the evil that we see. And in George Floyd's death, we have seen evil at work. But the nature of that evil doesn't begin and end with the action of one police officer, but with the culture and values of society, of community, of family, and of his organisation that led him to believe that somehow his restraint of George Floyd by kneeling on his neck was appropriate. And you and I are members of families and communities, of businesses and organisations, and we will have seen discrimination in our own lives. That must change. We all have influence over the lives of others. Influence is at the heart of power, and power can be used for good or evil. But with power comes responsibility to challenge evil, discrimination, and injustice when we see it, however normalised it may have become. I am a Christian, and I absolutely believe that we all need to work on how we experience people who are different to us, whatever that difference may be. As a Christian, I believe that the image of God is imprinted onto all human life, that something of the character of God is identifiable in each and every one of us. Our task is to search for the image of God in all people, and let that search be the basis of our appreciation of the distinctiveness and sacredness of every human life. The world is all the poorer for the loss of George Floyd, and it is certainly all the poorer for the existence of the racism that led to his death. We send our love and prayers as a community to the family of George Floyd and all those affected by his death.